All right, we're live. How's it going, everybody? We are here with our State of the Game. I think this is State of the Game number 5.
I believe so.
What's interesting is we haven't had any technical issues. So I don't know what that means. Maybe there's a technical issue coming, because whenever we do our State of the Game, there's always some kind of snafu. So I'm sure you guys will point it out to us in chat when that happens. First and foremost, thank you. We're very grateful to have you on this journey with us. And what a journey it's been. We'll be talking about that in a bit. If you're new to our State of the Game, ask your questions, share your comments in the chat, join the conversation. This is a collaborative thing. This isn't a presidential State of the Union address where I'm just talking and you just listen. We want to hear what questions you have at the end of the State of the Game. We will be taking your questions and moving things forward together. Previously on State of the Game, you can read that in your, little TV episode voice. Previously on State of the Game, we covered the new beginnings. We covered Valora. We have what I think is one of the most exciting patches we've ever had, and we had a new IRL ally join us. And it wasn't kind of this boardroom stuffy investor, but it was our kind of investors, people who really believe in what we believe in. They care about our players. They care about our community. They care about this family or this digital tribe that we're creating together, and they're fully aligned with everything that we care about, and they've helped us really level up. And these two things are really important as we go to our feature presentation. So our State of the Game today is about finding our spark. As I said, it's been a journey. If you've been here since the beginning, Rushdown Revolt wasn't always Rushdown Revolt. We used to be Vortex Rising. And before that, we were Vortex Rising Mercy's End, and there was like a lore attached to the title. And over time, we've evolved and adapted, and this journey will continue to change. I don't think that Rushdown Revolt is going to change, but I do think that we have Icons Combat Arena, we have Rushdown Revolt, and I think that we'll have a third game potentially in the works before you might know it. One of the things that I want to say is that we're growing. Back when we were Mercy's End, it was all kind of whatever money I had, whatever money my fiance wanted to lend me, whatever credit card I didn't max out yet, and that was where all of our funding came from. And then we had Slacker packs, and we had our Kickstarter, and then we could do like $8,000 a month, and this was really successful. We actually were able to become profitable off of the Slacker pack sales, where we were able to cover our monthly budget. And that's when the big papas got involved in May of this year, where they said, you know what? If you can get profitable with $8,000, I'm sure you can eventually get profitable on $100,000 a month of spending. And that sounds like a really big upgrade. We went from 1,000 to 8,000. We 8x'd, and now we've 12 times our spending. And I think that with the new beginnings, you've just really only seen the beginning of what's to come. And I think if things go well, we might even be able to get some bigger papas next year to really level things up. Today's State of the Game is going to show you guys how much we have planned on just this upgrade that we have from the 8,000 to the 100,000. So I'm really excited for our team to show you what we've been working on. Things are changing. We have the new beginnings patch. We have new team leads and processes. To name a few, we have Alice, who's now our sound lead. We have Toggle, who's our esports lead. We have Lust, who's our well-being and community lead. We have Truefire and Quaade, who are our co-leads of game design. We have Joe, who's our development lead. We have House, who's our media lead. Omni, who's our animation lead. Kazan, who's our art lead. And we'll be hearing from some of these people today. We have some new processes for how do we run things, because the team's growing. It can't just be that $1,000 a month organization where Cako is deciding everything, right? We have like a team now, people who are bought in, people who are autonomous and passionate about what they're doing, and we want to get out of their way. All of these leads that I mentioned, how do we coordinate among us without stepping on anybody's toes. And how do we do that? Well, where the new content that we have coming out is dramatically better than content that we've ever released before. One thing that will never change is that we are the collective will of our players, and I really mean that. In the past few days and weeks, if you've been in our Discord, you might have heard some conversations that have been going on where I'm trying to bring something to the team or to the community that no one else is really particularly excited about. And the one thing that will never change about us is that we are the will of our players, okay? We are never going to tell you we know better and that we're doing something for your own good. We will tell you, what we believe and what we're passionate about and what we have convictions about. But if you don't have convictions in it and you don't trust us, then that means we haven't earned your trust yet. And so we want to do what it takes to earn your trust for whatever objective we have. And maybe your objective is just wrong. The point is, whatever we do is what you want us to do and what you need us to do. And that will never change no matter how we grow. And it's really important that we figure that out now so that when we grow, we don't devolve. The organization doesn't get too big and it loses its touch of what's made us special. And on that note, I want to unveil 3 Vortex commitments that as we grow, you can trust that these things will always be real. The first one is citizenship. And I have this quote here from Uncle Ben: "With great power comes great responsibility." We are, and I am, a citizen of our community and our ecosystem. And as a citizen, it is our responsibility to keep that place happy and healthy. And so when I think about that ecosystem impact, I think about a positive environmental impact. If we have a carbon footprint, we need to more than offset that. We want to be a positive influence on the community, not a net zero impact. We want to be a positive influence. We want to contribute to our environments. Folks like Evil, who have his controller business, or Goose, who are trying to pioneer their streaming career, or Toggle, who have their choir work. There are things that we can do to contribute to our team members and what is important to them outside of Rushdown Revolt, and to their families and to their friends. And that's a foundation that we need to set now and scale later as we grow. We don't want this to be something where it's like, okay, we have our charity partner, and I don't want to say this kind of mockingly or anything, but like, there are really amazing big organizations out there, some that I'm very passionate about personally, like St. Jude's. And I don't want this to be one of those kind of corporate charity partners where it's like, okay, once a year we do our charity thing and now we can all feel good about ourselves. It's not going to be like that. This is something that we need to weave into who we are, where every day we are doing something to be a positive contributor to our broader ecosystem. And that's something that I hope to have more updates on soon. The second commitment is anti-hierarchy. Anti-hierarchy. To earn our trust, you must trust the other first. This is something that I have struggled with as a leader. And I don't want to say struggle like this is something I'm failing at, right? You're allowed to struggle with things. You're allowed to work on things. You're allowed to develop these things. And you guys have seen what happens when the kooky, excited, visionary guy goes on Twitter and starts posting things, right? And that's not just a me problem. That's like an Elon Musk problem, right? And so there needs to be this kind of chain of command where the vision and the ideas that need to spread through an organization can quickly, but not done so dictatorially, not done so where they're unfiltered. We need to collaborate and work together and make sure that when an idea reaches the end of our ecosystem, the edges of our ecosystem, that whatever it does is well polished, well coordinated, and fully aligned amongst all of the team members who brought it there. And so related to this is the antithesis of a chain of command. It's a chain of trust. It's a organizational framework that we're pioneering. And it's something that might sound really esoteric and kind of almost philosophical to you guys, but it's a very important thing, and it's something that as a team member you will really appreciate. And I hope that many of you listening will become team members one day. And this is something that you'll have to learn about if you're going to become a Team Vortex member. And basically, it means that instead of me just tweeting or posting or dictating key strategy for the company, I'm trusting the leads, and then the leads are trusting their folks, and I'm trusting certain players, and I'm running these ideas by them, and they are around their connections. And then that way we can all be sure that we are aligned on whatever direction that I'm trying to set for us. And if we're not, then I need to adjust the direction to be aligned with everybody else. And that's not just for me, that's a system that all of our leads will be able to employ. And it's going to allow us to move quickly and nimbly and humanely and emotionally without worry about how big our organization gets. We'll become a big company if this trend continues, but I don't want it to feel like a big company. I don't want it to feel like there's bureaucracy. And so the chain of trust is a really exciting way that we can make sure that everybody who needs to be involved in decisions are, without it becoming bureaucratic. And this is the second one because it's not that sexy, I'm going to be honest. But it's important to us, and it's important to tell you about it. The commitment 3, this is one that I'm really passionate about, and this is to follow the guide. So all of us here today are playing the game Rushdown Revolt, but we're also playing the game of the business. And the way that I think about our business and our company is that it should be fun. And I tell all our team that if you're not having fun, something's wrong, and we need to get involved, and we need to help you with whatever it is that you're struggling with to help you level up and to make this fun again. And so I encourage all of our team members to think about the way we work together as a game, and we're all players and we're all on the same team. And you, as our players of Rushdown Revolt, are also on this team. And the guide is the guide for this game, the guidebook. And the premise of this guide is that each and every spark is sacred. And just like the other two commitments, I have something to show for this. Unlike the other two, it's not a slide, it's actually a poem. So I want to tell you about this poem before I tell you about the poem as I've written it. And I think a lot of you guys know my story, or a lot of you folks know my story as someone who went to school for business, went to Wall Street, got disillusioned about it, became an entrepreneur, got disillusioned about that, became a game designer with no prior experience or coding experience, and taught himself to code and taught himself game design. And then we built this amazing team together, and many of our team members have the same journey as me, where none of them worked in game development before. None of them had coding experience before. But despite that, the game is really special because all of our team members care about it. All of our team members are passionate about it. All of our team members are players like you. And we've been thinking about this chains of trust thing. How do we keep the organization, the game, about the players? What kind of like manifesto or like rules of the Discord, or like what kind of thing are we going to come up with? And where we ended up was this guide, this poem. And a poem was the right format for me because a part of the story that I've left out is that when I went to college, I actually was going to study English, and I was going to study poetry. I was going to be a poetry major. And I changed careers, or I changed tracks in my university to be a finance major. And when I was in college, that was kind of like my story, was that I came to school to be a poetry major, but I'm actually this business guy. And that's a part of my story that I've left out because it hasn't been relevant. But now I'm going to share you guys a poem, and I'm going to read it to you. And I hope that you guys have as much fun listening to the poem as I do reading it to you. So give me a second here. It's an art form, poetry, and I want to treat it that way. The guide is a poem about self-actualization, compassion for one another, and our passion to humbly grow throughout our journey. The guide is the kernel of purpose behind everything Team Vortex, our loving community, and I do. And now I'll begin. The guide. We are each a spark that must be kindled and fueled. Our spark is why we are here. Let it guide you on your journey. The end game is to guide others to find their spark. We kindle sparks so we can thrive. Compassion is the key to kindle your spark and the well-being of us all. The end game is to guide others to kindle sparks around them. We must fuel our sparks each day. Our time is our fuel. Our fire is fueled over days, months, and years. The end game is to guide others to fuel their sparks wisely. Fire is our beginning. Fire is our journey. Fire is our end game. Together, we are fire. Our spark may be small, but if it is kindled and fueled, it will set the whole world ablaze. Each and every spark is sacred. Together, we are fire. Thank you, guys. I will have another section at the end of the State of the Game where I look forward to presenting some more information. But for now, I will hand it off to Goose and the rest of our amazing team. Thank you, guys.
I don't know if my mic is picking it up, but I am snapping for you. Beautifully written, Cako. So now we are going to move on to a presentation from the two denizens of design themselves. These two have really pushed the game in a way that people love seeing. They are responsible for the design of Seth, of Valora, of pretty much all the new mechanics. I have Quaade and Truefire coming up, our leads in design and implementation. So, how you guys doing?
Doing all right. Almost forgot to unmute there.
Yeah, you've done that a few times.
Yeah.
All right, let me bring this over to your screen here if you want to full screen your presentation as we get into this.
Yep, I got it up. Quaade, you there?
I am here.
All right, let
too.
me see. It seems to have just a slight issue, but we're going to see if we can get you on there. That is just
right.
showing me the wrong thing.
What's it showing you?
Not you, it seems.
Not me. Okay, well, I can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Is it showing you my Discord or something?
There we go, I got it.
All right, we got it. It says State of the Game or something?
State of the Game or
All
something
right, we're going to go
edition.
right from poetry into memes. So, jarring transition time. This is Quaade and I. Goose kind of gave us the introduction. We're both the game design people, so we're going to be talking about gameplay and stuff more so than the the business side of things, I guess. We put this slide together yesterday, so it's not very good. We're not very good at PowerPoint, but here it is. And I'll give a short summary of what we're going to do. We're going to start out. We're going to explain what we've actually been doing, because there's been some concerns. People have been asking, like, hey, where are all the big patches at? Where's all my content? I don't like slow patches, etc. Then we're going to have Quaade talk about Street Fighter for a little bit. It makes sense once you hear it. And then at the end, we're going to give some thoughts on like what the current meta looks like and our ideas where we want that to move forwards. And then we'll answer some questions. Excuse me. So that's the general gist of what we're going to be doing. I probably don't need to do this slide since Goose already transitioned it, but the basic idea is, if you don't know who Quaade and I are, we're the main gameplay designers and programmers. So we put together most of the new beginnings changes. We do most of the balance updates. Not everything, there's other people who do programming and game design besides us as well. So, not to take all the credit. And, you know, the art guys and the media guys and the business guys and all those guys do great work as well. So the first point I mentioned earlier, a lot of people have been wondering where gameplay updates have been since New Beginnings. We've had a couple, but they've mostly been, you know, balance, minor tuning, bug fix kind of stuff. Breaking zooms accidentally, that's a good one. Some people like that, some people don't like that. And the short answer is we've been kind of on break since New Beginnings, not entirely on break. We have been doing a little bit of stuff. Quade's been moving. You know, we crunched a lot for New Beginnings, so we've been going kind of slow. Excuse me. And we've also got a lot of other non-gameplay stuff on the table that's kind of taking a lot of our focus right now. The main thing currently being player progression systems, stuff like account levels, new tutorials, all that stuff. And that's not the kind of stuff that can all roll out, you know, in separate patches every day. It kind of has to all come as a bundle. So that's the main reason that we're seeing slower patches and less exciting new content in those patches. It's because other stuff's going on behind the scenes, and that's going to continue to be the case until we're finished with that other stuff. But it's not a concrete decision to go over to a slower patch schedule necessarily. It's just, you know, a temporary kind of thing. Just got to be patient while we get some other stuff that needs to be done finished up. Once that's done, we'll probably be back to something closer to our older gameplay update cadence that we had before. But until then, it's just going to be balance updates, minor tuning for the most part. You know, there might be some stuff in there that's a bit more game-changing than that. And now Quade's going to talk about some of the design challenges we face.
Yeah. So I thought I'd give a little glimpse into some of the issues we face when we are designing systems and moves and whatnot for Rush Rev. And to talk about that, I am actually going to talk about Street Fighter, and it'll all make sense, I swear. So when Street Fighter 2 came out back in 1990. 93, something like that.
I think it was 92, but don't quote me
92?
on that.
92? Alright, you know what? We'll meet at the midway.
In the middle, yeah.
Yeah. It created a big boom of fighting games. Everyone wanted a piece of the action. Fighting games were cheap to make. Like, just in general, games were cheap to make. And so there was a ton of innovation. And also a ton of bad fighting games. In fact, there were so many fighting games that people thought that it was a perfectly good idea to make a fighting game based on a rap single from Fushnikins featuring Shaquille O'Neal. That, you know, it just made sense, of course. But even if there's a lot of bad fighting games, just having a ton of games come out means there's a ton of innovation. And all that innovation also means a lot of situations for us to learn from. And that means if you want to make a really crazy over-the-top fighting game, traditional 2D fighting game now, you have 30 years of innovation and crazy ideas and crazy bad ideas to learn from. But when Smash came out in the late 90s, 1999, I think, games were a bit more expensive, the genre didn't pop off quite as well, and there's just not that many platform fighters. And so when we want to make a platform fighter that is more of an anime fighter than it's a traditional grounded Smash-like platform fighter. There's not a lot of places to look for innovation. There's not a lot of lessons to learn from 2000 bad fighting games. There's just a whole bunch of Smash games and a very, very small handful of games that play significantly different from Smash. And so we gotta figure out all these innovations by ourselves. And New Beginnings was sort of us shaking off the remaining, or at least some of the remaining Smash influence that came back from Icons, which was definitely a very, very Smash fighting game. That's basically what I wanted to say. This is the main reason why there's a lot of situations where, why don't you do this that works in this game? Well, we have a bunch of different systems. We have Spark, which means you essentially have unlimited airtime as long as you can keep your combo going, which means suddenly a lot of systems that make sense in old or traditional Smash-like platform fighters don't necessarily work for us. Yeah, we gotta figure it out ourselves, and there's not a lot of lessons to learn from other games, because there's not a lot of other games to learn from.
I'm gonna be honest, I forgot what the next slide is, so I'm just gonna assume it's time to go to the next slide. Okay, it is. All right, I'll take over here then. So I'm sure some of you are wondering, like, you haven't actually talked about the state of the game. You know, there's a game we're playing. This is called State of the Game. What's the state of the game looking like? And I figured it's a bit odd since this is the State of the Game presentation, but we're not really doing all that much with the state of the gameplay right now. Oh, excuse me. So that's why we decided to take a kind of different approach. But I figured it would be fair to give a few pieces of info about how we're feeling about the state of gameplay right now. And the big takeaway from this is that we still feel that neutral is kind of the weak point in our game. It's kind of the perennial problem for Rushdown Revolt, even for Vortex Rising. Neutral's always had its share of issues that stem from the fact that everyone has an air dash, everything is non-committal, and everyone can convert off of every hit. And that's a combination of features that pretty much no fighting game that's come out to date has in as much force as we have. And so we have to, like Quaade was saying, we have to work really hard to try to figure out what to do about this. We can't just look at another game who's solved the same exact problems that we're facing and say, let's do the things that they do. Now, these aren't changes that are going to happen in the near future because, like we mentioned before, we've got the player progression stuff coming, and I drank too much water between the slides, sorry. Hopefully some graphical overhauls after that. But the general idea, as you can see from this slide, is that I believe, and we believe that there are roughly 3 ways to kind of try to improve neutral. And these are something we might try in the future. The first one right here, nerfing evasive movement. We kind of tried that with the New Beginnings patch, and people didn't like it. It was very, very, very widely disliked. So the takeaway there is don't do that. That's probably one we're not going to be trying, at least anytime in the near future. Maybe 2 years down the road, the game looks different and there's a place for it. But so that one's crossed off the list, so to speak. The other options are, buffing tools to overshoot if someone's going to try to dash away or run away. We've tried that before too with boost. Boost was much better received than the movement nerfs. I don't know that would be bringing back boost, but we might look at more alternative options to achieve the same kind of thing. And then another way we could potentially look at making neutral a bit more interesting is making stage positioning more relevant, so that the choice to give up space is more of a choice and less of a, yeah, obviously I'm going to do that so I don't get hit kind of thing. We're also a little unhappy with how Shield is looking right now. I think it all looks really good on paper, but it doesn't actually pan out in gameplay. When you're playing, when your mental stacks stacked up and your reaction times aren't perfect, things don't really work out quite as well as we'd like. So that's also something we're not super happy with. Other than those 2 main points, I think overall the general state of the game is in a pretty healthy place. I think every character feels unique. They all have options. Nothing feels too bad or too good. Obviously, balance isn't perfect and never will be, and we'll keep up with the balance patches and such, but that'll mostly be informed by the players more so than our opinions. In conclusion, we're going to be adding grind grid from Undernight, but don't tell Cako. It's top secret. Cako doesn't like meters. All right, any questions? Goose, if you want to stop stop sharing my screen, I can. You can keep sharing my
Oh, are
screen.
you just gonna run away?
No, but I need to look at Twitch chat unless someone wants to field the questions. The questions.
Anybody who is gonna be asking questions, be sure to use the highlight. You should have enough points to do
I guess
so.
Quaade can just read the questions.
Yeah.
I'll leave the.
Or I'll read
I'll read
you
the
question
that
reading.
stuff. Yeah, no.
All right.
If anyone has any questions, I mean, I'm sure we've answered every question anyone could possibly have ever. So, you know.
How
Probably
many
won't be any
programmers? How many programmers are there on the team? Asks Yogurrt.
I'm
Nobody
gonna
knows.
say, yeah, nobody knows the. We could obviously go count, but I'm gonna say about 10. But people vary widely in their ability to work on stuff. You know, some people are students, some people have day jobs, and like can only really contribute when they're not busy, having a busy week at work, etc.
There can be more if you want to join.
Yeah, if you know how to program or are interested in programming, feel free
We'll
to
teach you.
DM Cako about it.
What would the meter actually do?
What meter?
Asks
I don't know what you're
Daddy
talking
the
about.
truth. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird question.
If you're talking about the last slide, that was mostly a joke. It is something that I'd like to maybe experiment about in the future, but it's not something we put a lot of thought into because it's not something that's going to happen for a while, if it even happens. It hasn't been vetted by anyone. We haven't run it by anyone, but the idea was basically just grind grid in Undernight is a kind of a cool mechanic that encourages people to run forwards. And it'd be cool to see if we could do something like that. The way grind grid works is basically, if you do aggressive things, it's like a tug of war. You do aggressive things, it moves towards you. If you do, if you run away, shield too long, etc., it moves away from you. And having it move towards you gives you benefits.
It's like 3 Squid Games combined, basically.
Yeah, it's like 3 Squid Games and an Among Us.
There's a question I'll answer. Will this game ever move to Unreal Engine from Unity? So you want to know a really funny story? Back when Wave Dash Games was an idea and I was the initial investor and we were contemplating which engine to join, I sent an email to Tim Sweeney, the founder of Epic, and I said, hey, Tim, you've never heard of me before. I'm a little indie studio. We're figuring out which thing to do. We want to build a Smash-like game. And he replied, Chris, that's so exciting. I'd love to support you guys and do whatever I can. I'll make all of the resources of Epic available for you. And then I told the Wave Dash team this, and then they said, let's do Unity. And the unfortunate reality is that there is no world in which we'll ever go to Unreal, because so much of our game is built on Unity and so many of the tools that we built is built on Unity. But the good news is that we're not even using the final form of Unity. We're using like a 2019 edition right now. Wave Dash had like a 2017 edition. And as we update to like the 2021 edition and we continue to build on it, I think that any advantage that would come from going to Unreal wouldn't really exist. And I would say that Unity, this is a very technical answer, actually is better than Unreal for pretty much everything that we want to do. So the answer to that question is probably never, unfortunately. But in an alternate universe, not only was I a poet, but I was a poet developing an Unreal Engine game.
We do have another question here from Definch221. Do you guys think you are going to market the game towards streamers when the game is closer to being fully published? Probably not a Quaade or Truefire question, but Cako is still here.
That is an excellent question. I think that actually a lot of the streamers know about us. A lot of the streamers are fans of our game. They don't stream it because it's something that their viewers don't know about. You know, they have livelihoods. They have an audience that they have to manage. And for them to stream a game that other people don't know about, it's not worth it to them. And that's something that we're going to fix next year.
I do want to throw out there that this is not the final. We have other team members who will be doing their own state of the game presentations on their own respective fields. So
that's an important
there will be more opportunities to ask questions to other people. Although everyone's in here, I think, or at least everyone who's going to be available for questions is in here right now. So.
Yeah. Looking at things that are specifically for you, Quaade and Truefire, we have one interactions. Do you not like about the current shield? Like, what is it that is making shield a little bit?
Yeah, you want to go for it, Quaade, or you want me to?
Nah, I'll let you handle it.
Okay, I'm more of a shield complainer anyway.
Yeah, you probably remember our discussion yesterday better than I do.
I think the gist of it is just a lot. What we'd like to see is like shield pressure, right? Where like shield pressure, block strings, where you're wailing on someone's shield, and at every opportunity they're thinking, what's he gonna do next, and what can I do to get out of it, kind of thing. But instead, what we mostly see is like someone puts up the shield, it gets hit, and then they either get grabbed or, frame trapped, or they just hit the opponent. It's like maybe 2 hits on shield most of the time. There's also some other things like, using the same move on shield several times is pretty common. There's just not all that much nuance and depth. There's an opportunity for it, but the game doesn't quite do enough to encourage you and direct you in that direction. And there's also I feel kind of like I don't know exactly what to call it, but even if it works on paper, when you're in the heat of the moment in the game, you're not thinking of all the options. You don't quite have time to play the RPS. You're just gonna throw something out and hope that's the right one, without considering the situation or your opponent's options. And obviously that depends on the player and stuff. But for the most part, that's what we're seeing from all kinds of players. Shield is not having the amount of depth we'd like to see it have.
All right. So how about? I think
sorry, one more.
How much more time do we have?
It is currently
have a
3:41 p.m. I was never given a schedule, so.
Let's make one more question, because we do have a lot of stuff to cover.
Yep. So this is going to be the last one before we move on to the next segment, which is a very exciting one, and I can't wait to tell you about it. But from the Bumblebee TV, chances of averting the movement patch. I know a lot of people have been kind of iffy about the whole not being able to cancel Rush into itself, which definitely is difficult for a lot of people who've really set in their muscle memory, where instead of running or sprinting, they'll continuously rush. So what do you guys think about how people are reacting to the new movement stuff?
Yeah, well, the good news is we have already reverted most of the movement stuff. That's pretty much specifically what you mentioned, the rush, not canceling the rush on frame 10. Is pretty much the only remaining movement change from New Beginnings. There's some minor stuff that you don't really feel, like dash turnaround being frame 2 instead of frame 1 or something like that. But nobody really notices that, Personally, my opinion is that the frame 16 rush into rush is better than the frame 10 rush into rush, and I haven't seen all that much complaining about it. But anything's possible in the future, I suppose. But right now I'm of the opinion that it's pretty good like it is. And I think whatever finger you use to rush will also agree with me down the road, because mashing rush 6 times a second can definitely be that's a smaller concern, but it is something that can start to wear on the old hands. We've seen enough melee players with the hand problems.
Oh yeah. But to move on, hello everybody. We are going to have a nice. What in the heck just happened? Why do I have things on my face? Where did these come from? They're your
digital glasses.
Exactly. Yeah. Wait. Let me just move myself right there. Hello everybody. But let me get these out of here. We have a wonderful video.
All right, everyone, put on your 3D glasses. That's what you should have said. This image has been specially calibrated for your 3D glasses. The moment's ready. Put them on.
Also, don't mind the mess in my background. It's a Halloween costume that has not been finished yet. But
looks like a bed.
well, there's a bed over here, and then there's a bloody mess over on my left shoulder, which is great. But we are gonna have a presentation made to us by our art director Kazan. You guys will finally be able to put a face to the art that goes into this game.
Face reveal, Kazan face reveal.
Exactly. Not only
He's too handsome, you can't do it.
Kazan IRL skin reveal.
Okay. Kazan looks like a K-pop idol. Fight me, enjoy the video.
Hey everyone, Jonas here. You may know me as Kazan, the art director and lead artist here on Rushdown Revolt. The art team and I have been working on some exciting new content for you all. First off, let's talk skins. As you all know, we've been updating the visuals of the original cast that fit our current aesthetic. So far, Zurong, Wei Shan, Erda, and Ashani have all been fully modeled and put in-game. We are currently working on Raymer, Ezzy, Afingalu, and Quaade. We hope to have these characters fully updated sometime next year, with the first being Raymer. Here is a sneak peek at his turnaround. In addition to the original cast, we have also developed 2 new fusion characters, Seth and Valora. We're excited to share that these 2 characters will be getting premium skins. Valora should hit the public build sometime early next year. Not only are we working on character visuals, but we also have several updates on stages and UI. The stages are finally being overhauled. I can't show you everything yet, but here's a sneak preview at Sovereign Peak in-game. The new UI is coming along steadily as well. We've been working close with the dev team to update our menus to look more clean, sleek, and exciting. Well, that's all from the art team for now. Please stay tuned for some future updates. Thanks everyone. Hey everyone, Jonas here. You may know me as Kazan, the art director and lead artist here at Rushdown Revolt. You may know me as Kazan, the art director.
Oh, okay, right on. Hey guys, I'm Luke. You might know me better as Omni. I'm the lead animator at Rushdown. This is just going to be a really brief look at what's to come in like the next couple months. So this fall, we're going to be looking at, there's a bunch of new mechanics in the game that didn't get animations to go with it. So I'm kind of just going to be bringing up the slack on that. Things like tech slide, air tech. They're going to get really cool animations. Directional rushes, bursts, air dash. All those are going to be appropriately like personalized. We're going to go through like character specific normals, specials, movement animations. I know we say this every time, but like, don't worry, the tools are going to be sick at the end of it all. Oh, sorry about that. They're going to be the exact same as like how you play with them now. They're just going to get a new coat of polish. And then the most, I guess, exciting part here is what we're going to be working on in winter, which is going to be our first character from scratch. And this means no recycled stuff. This is all going to be original animation. Work.
This is like a brand new idea. No one knows who this character is. The silhouette could be anything.
You guys don't know. It's a teaser, but it's
a secret.
Also could be misleading. We don't know.
Yeah.
So we look forward to keeping you guys updated in those chilly months. And yeah, that's it. This is what animation is going to be doing from fall and winter. Questions, comments, concerns. I'm blind to the Twitch chat right now, so Goose, if you want to field me questions.
You breezed so quickly through the animations that I would love to ask you a couple questions, Omni. So when you, like, if I look at Seth has like a custom rush animation for forwards and backwards. Is that something that every character is going to get?
Yeah, so we're doing that for everybody. So that's actually in the works right now. So we count that in the fall bracket.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of, like, how do you think about making a forward rush and backwards rush like very personal to each character. Like it seems like quite the challenge. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about like how you're thinking about that as an example.
Yeah, we can dive into that a little bit.
Do you have like any kind of documentation you could throw up here on the fly here?
I don't know about that. I don't know if I have anything.
Okay.
Most of my stuff is written in
No
like,
leaks.
Notepad. No leaks. But so things like when we did Seth's, right, we had this big like I hate to use electric as our adjective here, but we had this big electric guy, right? And we're like, okay. I wanted to make sure he got like a really like crispy, cool. I almost wanted like a 90s kind of look with how he dashes. So I think it feels really reminiscent of like I don't know. I almost think of it as like watching Mega Man or something, you know, like one of those old school platformer games. I really pushed it there. Valora's had a little bit more to like have emphasis on like the gun blade. Obviously you guys can see all of those right now, but we're working through one of the cool ones. I think we just I'll give you guys a little leak here, is the Shawnees. And the Shawnees, we went with more of like a boxer, like a fighter trope. So it's actually a little bit more of like slipping and stuff in the rush movement. I think that turned out really cool. But you guys can expect personalization like that, kind of bleeding over into the bursts and the air dashes, because I know some of those are still a little shaky. But this fall we're looking to really give them the upgrade.
That's really helpful. Omni. Yeah. Was there anything related to Kazan's section, because you guys are both art leads, that you would want to kind of add on, or any reactions you have to Kazan's piece?
No. I think Jonas dunked it, man. I mean, that was awesome. I love that. I loved everything he covered in that video. I think he kept it short and sweet and right to the point.
All right.
Does chat have any questions about anything? Oh, this is also your guys' chance to be like, I hate the way blank looks.
Yeah, do you guys have any least favorite animations in the game right now?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Zulo says, are you
Special
open to animation
movements.
ideas? Yes, definitely. Let them rip. Not just here, but in game feedback.
But also here, because I'll answer them right here if somebody thinks they're good. Once again, I'm blind to chat, but if somebody wants to field them.
Typo
Ezzy's
says,
down
Ezzy's
tilt.
down tilt. How about everything Ezzy does? Can we just redo all of Ezzy's moves?
Ezzy's down to okay, so I think we're gonna be leaning into like the sorceress trope for her rushes, going back and looking at her burst again, the air dash. So I think that'll be a chance to do some like floaty wizard stuff. I don't know if we're gonna have her fly or she's gonna like ride the broom. We're gonna make something cool there. And I think when we do that, we could look at a normal like down tilt and look to make that a little bit more like along those lines. We could lean into that trope a little harder instead of it just being because I think as is it's kind of cool, you know? It's like the vines look cool and there's a good amount of stuff going on there, but we could improve that. Yeah, we could make that look better.
Seth's up tilt. That's an interesting one. I think that one has so much potential to be better than what it is.
Yes, that can I tell you what, I'll do you guys the
And then Wayshawn and Seth back throw.
I just want to pop in here and throw out that Omni is always collecting references for stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So if anyone's like, hey, Seth up tilt should look like this, if you can get pictures, just post them wherever. Honestly, you can post them in, game feedback and at pretty much anyone. If you add me, I'll get them to Omni. If you add Omni, he'll probably see them.
Images, GIFs, videos are a billion times better than saying his arm should be like this. And we're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have a photo, then we can
honestly,
understand.
if you guys have a move and you're like, hey, I saw this move in game, I feel like it could look better. Because, spoiler alert, it's probably an Icons animation. We haven't touched up yet. Shoot me a DM, dude. Like, throw in like a reference if you've got it, that it's really hard to do it without a reference, but if you've got something you're like, I don't like how this looks, but I've seen this and this looks cool. Could you guys do something like this? I'm always hunting for stuff to be like, what's the next, bang for a buck thing to like give a new coat of paint to?
Yeah. Actually, a decent way to look at it is that extra 10%. Like bringing in just that little bit of extra sauce that makes the animation really sing. So adding personalization to Seth's idol, I think, really separated him from Wei Shan and legitimately made him feel different because he bled through the like the old animations into his own personalized state, and I think that was amazing. So it would be like, if you guys have any ideas for like those little personal touches, let us know. Again, the feedback channel is always open to more than just gameplay matters. Like, be sure to let us know things, like ask them here, ask them anywhere else, because also that will, like, the little animation touches will influence the way that we write these characters in the future and the way that we write the lore. They are, I think they are really, really important. Like, already when I look at Ashani right now, and especially after her newer special reworks, I'm like, I have a better idea of what her personality would be like if we were to write her into, say, comics or cutscenes. So yeah, let us know what you guys think. Give us more.
What's next on our agenda?
We have a I thought we were gonna do more questions, but we do have the Yogurrt presentation. So we have something that's a little more special. This is very different. This is very new from us. Like, we have never done anything like this, and I think you guys are gonna want to see it. It is a very interesting way that we want to go about it. So I'll let the video speak for itself. We'll be right back.
This is just beautiful, beautiful stuff. I tell you what ain't beautiful though. Getting done with this off stage as the match kicks off though.
No, it was nasty. Yogurtt looking like an antibiotic right now. Oh my god.
To be consistent, you have to play a lot, and that's like all tournament is.
Making a huge comeback and about to take another stop.
The thing in this game is it's really cool because a single hit can be either one whole stock or it could be just that hit, and it depends on how you execute it.
Forcing him into the corner, that up air. Okay, into the up tilt, side B, down tilt, up air.
A little wave side combo.
Into the fair. He's
Waiting outside for the first.
I just kind of play a lot and play a bunch of different players, and I kind of like balance it from kind of just like relaxing and like trying to learn something, and also putting a lot of pressure even in friendlies. Like, I'll just like pretend like, okay, this is the start of a best of 5, and I'll like treat these next like 5 games like super seriously, and then I'll go back to like kind of just relaxing again. So like I kind of practice the pressure of it a little bit.
Vertical recovery, which I do think is one of the worst in the game, but there it is, Yogurrt finishing it off. Trying to go for the bear, but it's not gonna work. Oh, there it is. Nice super jump cancel, and then there it is on the rush.
I usually don't feel too nervous, but I actually found last week during the invitational that I was way more nervous than normal. I think it's because like the money part of it, I like told some people about it. I think I put probably too much pressure on myself. Like, I just felt more often in my head last week. And kind of this week during like the tournaments, I was like a lot more relaxed. I streamed my tournament runs. I was literally like playing Disney music while playing in the tournaments, and I actually like, they were both small tournaments technically, like not all of the top players are there, but I would like win both of them. So I was just hoping I could like take the momentum of like the smaller tournaments into here and like kind of just learn from that and like be more relaxed and like have fun with it, instead of thinking, okay, this is like the big match. This is like if I just kind of like treat it like how I treated the other matches, I think I'll do better.
So many people with immediate side B. Ooh.
Oh no. Oh, he's going for a ride. Starman gets a... Oh!
I played Wei Shan for the first few months that I started playing, and I really only liked him. But that's also because I didn't really try other characters very much. But in like June, when he got the really huge kind of nerf patch, not only did he feel like worse, but like I didn't really like some of the new things that they added to him, which like made him like less fun in my opinion. And I was actually thinking about taking a break from Rushdown, but I played Ashani for a little bit before I decided to switch, and I actually really liked her and instead of kind of switching off, I decided, okay, maybe instead I'll try to get better at Ashani, and then I kind of realized that Ashani was also extremely fun. And even though that they rebuffed Wei Shan, I guess, well, they like nerfed him really, really hard, and then they kind of slowly brought him back. I think he's in a really good spot right now, but I just have more fun with characters like Ashani and Zurong. Obviously, there's Pugsy, but I think everybody struggles with him. Maybe Jerain and Ringworm? I'd say Brock. I feel like I can probably beat like any of these guys, but they can also maybe beat me. The thing about Brock is I play like friendlies with him a lot, so I feel like he maybe knows some stuff about me and he can like get some like random like set wins and stuff. And he like also has like a bunch of different characters that he uses, so it's a little bit hard to be ready for that. And with like Jerain and Ringworm, they're just like super solid players, so I know that I can win, but I also know that I have to be playing really well to beat them, because they will also play well, and if I'm not like really solid, then they'll just outright beat me.
Absolutely destroy Ashani. Oh no, this is bad for Zoo. Oh, Yogurtt! You absolute madman!
This is just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I tell you what ain't beautiful though.
All right. So, congratulations, Yogurrt. You are, as far as I know, the world's first developer-salaried player. We said in the video that you were sponsored, but, you know, this isn't really a sponsorship. This isn't about, like, advertising us in any way. It's really about supporting you. And this is something that I am so blessed to be able to do. I mean, when I was a teenager, I would have dreamed that a developer would do something like this, and this is just the beginning. You know, this is a moment for you to celebrate, Yogurrt. This is a moment for all of us to celebrate, because this isn't going to be a one and done. We care about being a citizen of our ecosystem, and that was one of the first commitments I brought up at the beginning of our State of the Game. And one of the ways that we're going to be a citizen is to make sure that the people who are putting the most into this game are getting something out of it. Esports prizing and prize pools covers it to a certain extent, but for Yogurrt, and he'll be in here and I'll be able to talk to him myself, and we can maybe take some questions from you guys as well. But Yogurrt had a difficult time balancing his esports career with his family and his family's needs. And I was talking to his parents. I met with his parents. I don't want to go too far into the story here, but we were able to work on something where his parents could be confident that he could be dedicating his time to Rushdown Revolt and it would be worth his time. And so it's not just about the fun. It's not just about the friends and your mental well-being and your health. Sometimes it's about making sure that your wealth is also being taken care of. And, you know, for Yogurrt and his parents, was this going to be a career for him? And this was something that I was in the incredibly fortunate position to solve. And this is something that I want to bring to not just Yogurrt, but as many of our players as possible. And so with that, if Goose can let me know if Yogurt's able to join us, then I can have a little powwow with him to celebrate, ask him some questions. You're here.
What's up?
All right. I'm going to switch over to my full cam. I don't know if Yogurt's going to reconfigure the layout here.
Yeah. I think I added my cam in.
Perfect. Yogurrt, we good?
Maybe. Yeah. I got a new haircut too, so you know.
Hell yeah.
Me in there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, let me do this then. I'm gonna move my camera a little bit to make room for Yogurrt here. I'll go halfway in. Boop. And now Yogurrt can fit in. So we got the man of the hour, the world's first developer salaried player, Yogurrt in chat. How's it feel?
Yeah, so I guess now that it's like out, I can I guess expose that like I've had it for, well, it's not like just the start, it kind of has been a thing for a little bit, not too long ago, but like a few weeks ago it started, I guess. And I don't know, it's just really crazy to think about it. I was like really amazed at like the offer in general, and the fact that I can like kind of make like some consistent money. Like it's obviously not like I can go move out and like buy a house, but like it's like it's like more than I could have like initially asked for just picking up a game and playing it and making content for it. Like it's just like I'm doing a job and I'm getting paid for it, for like doing stuff that I enjoyed, and I'm just happy that it was even offered.
I mean, this is Rushdown Revolt is your spark, and if you were here for the poem, we care deeply about not only helping our fellow citizens in our ecosystem, our fellow members finding their spark, but helping them kindle it and fuel it. And I think that, you know, things like Metafy and things like working with you and talking with you and collaborating with Jorain and other players like Pugsy helps you kindle it. But sometimes you really do need fuel. You really do need a resource. And we live in a society, but cash and the stability that comes with it can really help you take your spark to a new level. What are you able to do now that you weren't able to do before this deal? Are your parents kind of thinking about it differently? Are you able to invest more time into it? Like, how has this changed things for you?
So in terms of that, like, I've always kind of put a lot of like time and effort into, like, I put a lot of time and effort into everything I do, but like including like school and like all that, all like work stuff, related stuff, but that also included like games and stuff that like I'm like just super competitive in general. Like I played sports, so I even like if I played video games, I'd also be super competitive like this and like other games that I used to play, and like not to the point where I'm just playing, but like I'm playing and I'm trying to win and I'm trying to get better and I'm studying to learn and I'm watching competitive games and like all that like combined. And then like that's like kind of the disconnect, I guess, from like if you were talking about my parents, where it's just like, sure, if I'm working hard on school, that makes sense. If I'm working hard at my job, that makes sense. If I'm working hard even at sports, that's understandable. If I'm working hard at a video game, how does that make sense? Because they're like in their head, it's like he's putting all this time in and he's like playing like something as like random as like Monopoly or something, like something where it's just like, how can more time and effort even matter in that case? Because like a lot of parents, or mine in general and probably others, like it's not relatable, so like it's something that they wouldn't understand, but you also can't blame them for not understanding. So that was something, and I think this like that like kind of deal that was made and like being able to like show them was something to make it more understandable, I guess, make it more of like a bridge between like, oh, maybe this does do something, maybe like those hours aren't wasted. And it's, yeah, it was kind of nice to make that connection.
You mentioned sports. You know, was your family supportive of you going into sports? You know, did you have a journey in sports before gaming?
Yeah, they were like supportive. It was never like, it was more casual. It was like competitive yet casual. Like I was competitive and I didn't like, I took it seriously, but like I don't think I was ever in like the realm of making it into a career. But like I was definitely,
you did go
very
pretty far,
supportive.
I understand, you know, for youth, right? Like you were playing.
Yeah, I was playing like rep baseball, which is like pretty high. It's like a pretty high level, but like I wasn't like getting scouted or anything. But yeah, like they were supportive and they wanted me to do well and all that stuff. But I think it was like different. Also, like sports are also like more understandable because like obviously like people make like $50 million a year playing sports and all that. So yeah, they were pretty supportive of my sports.
And I think that like the opportunity for us is to help parents understand that games are not this thing that isolates you anymore. We have our thriving community on Discord where people have, you know, hopefully lifelong friendships that they're making, and it can not only be good for your health and good for you socially, but it can also be good for you financially. And so I think that doing something like this is a really important way to change that narrative, and I'm very humbled that your parents were supportive and willing to do it. I'm very grateful to have an amazing community member like yourself, Yogurrt, able to do it. Do you have any thoughts on the whole opportunity or anything that you want to say to the folks who have helped you get this far?
Yeah, well, like first of all, like just happy that like honestly like it's still like a miracle that I'm even here, because I can't exactly trace back how I found this game or like why or whatever reason. Like it was literally just like a bunch of like stars that aligned, because like I was a League player. I played League and that's pretty much all I played. So like when you're used to playing the biggest game in the world, like what are the odds that you find a smaller game that's like in the process of getting bigger, and the fact that it's a completely different genre. Like there was no reason for me to find the game, there was no reason for me to like the game or to stay with the game, but all of it kind of came together, and then all of a sudden like I kind of got good at it, and it was just a really good moment. And on top of that, like I am getting paid, and I'm not like a like lazy person, I guess. Like if I'm getting a certain like I want to be like of my worth, I guess. So like not just like with competing, like I make it kind of a thing for me to consistently stream. Like I stream a pretty solid amount of hours consistently, almost daily or every week at least. And just like kind of like I genuinely care about the game, and I genuinely want it to be better. So like if I say feedback about certain things or how the game is, like it's in the intentions that I want to make it better. And when I stream and when I made this tournament, like all of it is just like I care and I appreciate what the game has done for me. So like I'm trying to like give back. And so that's like how I feel. So like when I make like videos or like when I try to promote the game, it's just that I'm actually like trying to also help it because it's also helped me.
Do you have any message that you'd like to share with maybe an earlier version of Yogurrt, or somebody who's in the chat right now thinking, I would love to be like Yogurrt right now, where I could be salaried and have some stability where I can play a game like Rushdown Revolt? What would you say to them to help them get to where you are now?
I mean, it's always kind of tough because I still like to this day, like even with all of it coming through, I still find myself really lucky. But I mean, like just getting good at anything, like it just takes a lot of time. Like I'm sure that for a lot of portions of my time, because I started in March, that was like what, 8 months ago, I am positive that I put in more, or I played more than maybe anybody in a lot of those times. Maybe not every single day I was playing more than everyone, but like for certain months, especially at the beginning, I can like guarantee, like if you just looked at my quick play wins, like I was like almost embarrassed at how fast my quick play wins were going up because I was playing that much. Like I was just like putting too much time into the game. So like I guess if you want it, like it goes for anything. Like if you want to get better, you actually have to do the work. Like when it comes to working out, like you can look at meal
and I think it's not
plans
even
and
about the
stuff.
work. If you don't mind me interjecting, I think it's about
Yeah,
putting
go
in the
for it.
time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like just like the hours like that it actually takes to like get better at things. Like yeah, like you can't just always be like watching or fantasizing about stuff. Like you actually just have to like you can't replace like actually putting in hours into things. So
So put in the
I mean,
time.
just
That's
doing
lesson
that-
one.
yeah, like putting in time and hours into things and being consistent and like I don't know, it just has to be something you enjoy because like I couldn't have saw this coming. I didn't start all of this would happen. It just has to be something that you can naturally want to commit to and naturally enjoy. If it felt like work every time I tried to play the game, then it wouldn't have worked out and I wouldn't have wanted to get better and I wouldn't have gotten better. So like it isn't going to be for everyone, but like if you actually do want to, like if you want to go in the competitive player route, like streaming is something different. I'm lucky that I could do both, but if you want to go in the competitive player route, just like being really like dedicated to trying to get good and then actually willing to play a lot to get good is what it would probably take.
How do you think about as a competitor, how do you balance your personal confidence going into a tournament? Like, I can do this, I could win, I could be the best player in this tournament, versus the humility and humbleness that requires, like, you know what, I have so much I have to learn still. How do you think about balancing those?
So I think a lot of it is if you just like kind of focus on yourself, that can help with that a lot, because a lot of the times winning or losing doesn't judge how well you played. So I can win a set 3-0, but that doesn't necessarily mean I played it well, or it doesn't mean that I played it well compared to what I could have done. So I think always being like honest in that kind of way is really important. Like, and that even goes for losing. So you can lose a set, it could be game 5 or it could be a sweep. But if you were doing things better, then like you're always like at this point, like let's say you're just like at this like level or whatever, like you're at that level no matter how the other person plays, because you can't affect how they play, you could only affect how you play. So like if you're going up, even if you lose, win or lose, like that's what's like more important. So if you like kind of focus on that part, it can allow you to improve more, and it's a little bit easier to like not feel as connected to results. Like it's easier said than done to like not be connected to results and only focus on like yourself and getting better, but that can help your mentality.
So what's the next level of Yogurrt look like? What's on your plan? Like, how are you going to get to the next level? What are you trying to accomplish right now?
I think I'm doing pretty well for myself. Like in a non like cocky way, there's not much more I can do. Like yesterday, we don't talk about yesterday because I tried to play Waishon and it wasn't that good. But besides that, like my tournament results have been really good. I really, for like the last like 2 months, I've really, for the most part, only have lost to Pugsy consistently. So I mean, that's the only goal that I can say is, obviously like it's not something that's like done. Like I can't say like, oh, if I play the other guys, I'm gonna beat them every time. But being consistently like high level while also being someone that can challenge for a number 1 spot is what my next goal would be.
Awesome. How do the folks find you? Are you streaming right now?
Yeah, of course.
Let's do the shout outs.
Okay, let me think. All my shout outs are, so obviously there's Twitch. and I'm on it right now. YouTube, I'm trying to also balance it. I'm on Twitter, and it's all the same handles. It's Yogurtt with 2 R's and an underscore. And I'm also on Metafy. It would be metafy dot something. Is it metafy.gg? And then
/ Yogurtt. Yep.
Underscore.
Ollie Wonder's got you hooked up in chat.
Perfect. Yeah. So I think those are all of them. Twitter,
Awesome.
Twitch, YouTube, Metafy. Most important ones is probably just Twitch. I'm here a lot, so
That's awesome, man. I'm really happy to have you on the team because you're not just sponsored, you're actually on the team now. So you are a blue name, you're in all the Vortex channels, you're now a part of the chain of trust, and so you're going to be looped into not only player-centric conversations, but even kind of organizational strategic decisions. And I think that's a really exciting place for us to have players contributing to that at the highest level of strategy of the organization. So we have to have all of the players here for the state of the game, but when this stream ends and we're talking about the things that will become the thing that we talk about in the next state of the game, we're going to have you there, a part of the conversation at the earliest second possible. So this has been a huge pleasure and honor to have a salaried player on our team, and I can't wait to do this more. Who are some players in the community that you would like to give a shout out to before we move on to the next part of our state of the game presentation?
Man, I'm not sure specifically. Like, shout out to all the people that come to my stream consistently. Like, there are a couple of them, but shout out to those guys because that always come in and talk and everything. Those guys are really cool and make it fun and a reason to come back. Oh, shout out to Ollie for sure. He's the first guy that I played Waitlist when I first started, and I checked the most recent tournament and he won it on Waitlist, and I DM'd him and I was like, yo, you got any tips? And from there he just taught me so much from the start, and he's still been a really cool guy ever since, and kind of a bit of a leader, I guess, for me and a lot of the community. So thanks to him and just all the other players for playing a lot with me, I guess.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, Yogurtt. Enjoy the rest of your Twitch stream, and I'll see you around the Discord.
Yep, thank you.
All right, so again, first salary player in the history of RushRev. That is Yogurtt, one of our favorite players in the world. We are now going to move over to our nearly last segment. We have a few announcements that we want to get over to you guys. Aside from just we are for you guys, we're starting to pick things up a little bit. Let me bring you over to Cako to see what you got. All right, you're up.
All right, so we have Yogurtt, I think the world's first developer-salaried player, and many more to come. Next up, I want to talk about RushCon. This is an in-person celebration of Rushdown Revolt. It's going to be in early next year, and it's going to be in the Southwest, so we're looking at Nevada, California area, and there is a ticket wait list that you can join right now to be the first to find out when tickets are available at rushdownrevolt.com/RushCon. We're going to be having tournaments. We're going to have social events. We'll have games. Besides Rushdown Revolt, we'll have other maybe platform fighters there. It's going to be a lot of fun. All of Team Vortex wants to be there. I'll be there, obviously. Savfo, who's helping us organize it, so shout out to him. Toggle, all of the team members. This is actually one of the first times that all of us even come together. So it's going to be a magical moment. It's going to be a historical moment for Team Vortex, a historical moment for our player base. We're very, very excited about it, and we would encourage everybody here to join the wait list. We'll be sending emails out to folks when tickets are available as people signed up on the wait list. So the sooner you sign up, the sooner you'll get access to the tickets, and the sooner you'll be able to buy them before we sell out. We are trying to be it on a level where we're confident we will sell out, because this is the first event that we're doing. So space will be limited, but we're very excited about it, and we can't wait to tell you more. That character that Omni talked about that we're working on, that new character with the silhouette that you don't know what it looks like, we might have that character playable at RushCon. Not saying definitely, but pretty good chance that will be the case. Next thing is the early access beta that we talked about doing in November. We're going to push that back. And we're going to push that back to give us more time to get everything that Kazan talked about, that Truefire talked about, that Omni talked about, ready to go. And the early access and beta version of Rushdown Revolt will be launched at RushCon 2022. So another reason to be there. We're extremely excited. We think that 2022 is going to be the year of Rushdown Revolt. We are making massive strides on the team. We're making massive strides with the product, with our community, bringing on salaried players. You know, this is really just the beginning of everything that we're out here to do. We have a poem now. I don't know any other community that has their community poem. So, you know, we're something special. This has been a huge privilege to present to you the state of the game. I'm really honored to have the amazing team members we have by our side to join me for this presentation. Shout outs to Goose for putting this all together and being a wonderful manager of the stream. I'm going to add a command into chat right now. So we have the RushCon command now, where you can get your waitlist, and we'll answer any final questions. But I just want to emphasize that Reina is being worked on starting in the winter, and we will have a playable version of her at RushCon.
All right, so how's that for an announcement? We're finally going to be in person. We're going to be able to meet up. I'm going to do everything in my power to get up there, so long as I can actually fly in a plane. I actually haven't figured that one out yet, but just for battery issues. But hopefully I will be able to get over there. We're going to do everything in our power to get as many of us out there. Again, if you guys need anything really, just let us know. We can organize everything that we can to help you out. So I think that is everything except for a lovely message from the ever so loving esports manager Toggle. We have a few more tournaments before we wrap up this season. So, as part of RushCon, the final 3 weeks of Alpha Season 2 will include a last chance qualifier, a finale, which will determine who is eligible for RushCon, the Invitational, and a cross-region bracket, and just a reminder that you can still enter the remaining events. There are still tons there. Be sure to visit our Smash GG page. We have a ton of stuff going on. Arcadians, we have, I believe, 2 more throwdowns per region, but we are working tirelessly, so be sure to keep an eye on tournament listings and announcements. We'll be putting out tweets as well to keep you guys updated. Thank you guys oh so very much for coming out. It really does warm my heart. Yeah. Again, this is Kangoose, and on behalf of Team Vortex, we thank you. We thank you so much. You guys are the one who makes this possible. We use your energy and your love for the community to fuel our drive. And for that, I thank you. I could not be happier with how things are turning out, and just thinking about it, we really have come a long way. So, we're gonna wrap things up. Do we think we should do a raid? How about a raid?
Definitely.
Yeah, let's go.
We'll raid Yogurrt if he's still streaming.
Oh, is Yogurrt up? Oh, yep.
Let me just add, because there's been a couple questions. RushCon is going to have a $10,000 in-person tournament.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So let me throw this in there. Yes, $10,000. We have just a. I could not be more excited for this. I can't wait to get out there to commentate. I will do. I can't, like, I just can't put it into words. It's like we've been kind of holding this under wraps for quite a while, and damn, we're figuring it out. So the raid for Yogurrt is ready. Everybody be sure to hop in there. Wish our dude a congratulations. This is his chat. This is his stream. We absolutely adore the guy. So I want everybody in this chat in there. I want to see all 69 of you nice people going through. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Again, congratulations to Normally Silent for finally winning their Arcadian, and thank you to all the guest commentators today, as well as all the different crew members that came out. And again, on behalf of the rest of the Team Vortex, thank you oh so very much. You guys are the best. You're the ones who make this happen. Stay electric out there. We'll see you. Raid is gone, and